Hello everybody, this is Davies from Channel ATV. Welcome to the program. Today is another exciting day because I have one of the young men that we can rarely have on the program. His name is Malachi. He's only 15 years old, right?
Right.
And you can see he's a little bit taller than me. He's about, how tall are you?
I'm 6'3" right now.
6'3", right? He said right now, I like that right now. But anyway, so he's 6'3", his name is Malachi. He's a football player. He's actually getting ready to go to college, God willingly, but we're already talking the NFL. I have to say that. But first of all, before I go anywhere, I get to travel a lot. And every time somebody's picking up from the airport, sometimes they hold a sign, with my name. But this young man, somebody picked him up and they had this. And I thought this was quite interesting. It says, Malachi Bowler Wilkins, custom made for you, my brother. So how did you feel to be received like this? And you're only 15 years old. And how did you feel?
I thought it was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it. When I saw it, I kind of just laughed to myself. And
yeah, and I'm gonna say this, just talking about the future. That's a lot of people believe in you, people that you don't know, people that are watching.
Yes, sir.
And that's the reason why they received you like that. You're only 15 years old, but you have a future, and we're trying to encourage you. And this is why we're talking to you today about getting to know you a little bit. I know a little bit about you, but we want the audience to follow and kind of find out about, where your head is and, your plans. And first of all, what position do you play?
I am a defensive end.
Okay, defensive end. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just assume I don't know anything about football. And can you explain to the audience what your job is, like when you show up, what's the first thing that you do? We just see coaches will be yelling at people on TV. We don't know what's going on. So Can you walk us through?
So there's 5 defensive linemen, and I line up on the end person on each side. So there's a center, a guard, and a tackle.
Okay.
And I line up on the last person, that's the tackle.
Yeah.
And I split between the middle of him, and when the quarterback says hike, I have to make sure no one gets outside of me on run play.
Okay. Very interesting. How old were you when you figured, okay, I'm gonna play football? Your mom is from Ghana. I had to say that. Predominantly in Africa, people play soccer. Have you tried any other sports, and what made you decide to play football, American football?
I actually did play soccer for a really long time, and then I kind of faded away from soccer and got into basketball for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I think I was 12 or 11 or so when I decided that I wanted to play football because I moved. My parents had gotten a divorce, and I moved up the hill, and everyone was playing football, and I thought it was really fun. That was the first time I was really introduced.
Okay. Now, talking to you, you're only 15 years old, and you seem to be very calm and collected, and you know what you're doing, obviously, when it comes to football and just life in general.
Yes.
Any challenges when you look at the game and who you are as a person? Do people expect too much from you? Do you feel any type of pressure?
That's actually how I felt this year, because my freshman year, I had gotten a pretty bad not like accident, but I had a pretty bad injury, and my coach really didn't want me playing varsity, but over off season I worked really hard because it was my brother's senior year actually, and I really wanted to play with him, so I worked as hard as possible, and I ended up starting varsity for. So,
but you're feeling better now. You're back. You're still playing, and. I had the privilege, obviously, to be, to be at the Super Bowl, this past Super Bowl. Not only, welcome to Seattle, by the way, I forgot to tell you. So you're from Phoenix, you're here in Seattle. And we got to mention that you're here for some leadership training, so that's a good thing, because being a youth right now, you're building character, you're building future leadership, and you're working on that. And so we're so proud of you to work on that, because football is not only what you do on the field.
Right.
It's a representation of the club or any franchise that you're working for, that you're playing for, outside, and you're doing the right things. So, looking at the NFL, I'll jump college. Looking at the NFL, which team right now would you play for if you're given the opportunity? Let's just say you through college and you had the opportunity. Which team would you play for, and why?
Either.
You don't have to say Seattle just because I'm from Seattle.
That was actually probably the one I was going to go for, because I actually really like the people on the team, and The coach looks like he knows what he's doing most of the time.
Pete Carroll. Well, good answer, first of all, but I didn't pay you to say that. But anyway, so I'm sure by now you know we are friends even on the team and the people around the Seattle Seahawks. So hopefully when you come back, maybe we can create some platform for you to meet, Russell or Richard Sherman or Marshawn or anybody, because they're always doing great things in the community.
Right.
When they do stuff in the community, we always go with them and report those cases when they're giving back and things like that. So speaking of giving back, have you started working on that?
I used to come up to the school a little bit with my brother. For to help my little sister's elementary school.
Yeah.
I'd go and help tutor them a little bit, like stuff like that.
Okay, that's great. Now with your grades, let's talk about your grades. Is there any pressure for you to maintain your grades? And we know, like we said, off screen, that's the primary focus. Your grades have to be on top, and then everything else follows. How do you balance your workouts and your ethics and keeping up with your grades?
I normally, with the sports I'm in, they end pretty late, so I'm up kind of late doing homework and stuff. Yeah. But I'm doing a pretty decent job. I'm getting A's, B's, and some C's here and there. Yeah. But I just study and I really try my hardest.
Try your hardest. Yeah. Well, you gotta understand that, and it sounds like you already know that education comes first, right, and everything else follows. Not to take away anything from any other crafts that you're able to do. So now we've talked about which is your favorite team. When during the Super Bowl, which team were you rooting for and why?
I was going for the Seahawks.
Okay.
Because I like the Seahawks.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty hectic in my house.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like you need to meet some of these guys when you come back. And is there anything that you want to talk about as far as your something that you'd like your fans to know about you? This is an opportunity for you to speak to your fans directly, what they need to know about you. And also the coaches, the coaches will be looking at you because we are all watching as your career, unfolds. Why should a coach consider you? There's a lot of talent out there, as you know, but why should somebody pick you over somebody else?
I think a coach picked me because I'm a really hard worker and I love the game of football. If you tell me to do something, I'll try my best to do it to your liking.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. Obviously, your parents, you have a parent from Africa and your another parent from the United States. How do you balance the two cultures, keeping up with eating the crazy African Ghanaian food? I know about that, and your culture in general. How is that challenging for you, or is that okay?
Not really. Well, when I have a grandma and she lives out in Africa and she comes for 5 months at a time, and when she comes, it's when we're at our mom's, that's all we eat because we split time with our dad and our mom. Yeah. And when my grandma's here, she always cooks, and it's always African food.
It's a mixture of everything, fish and beans and okra and all that stuff. Okay. Well, that's great. Do you have any plans? I know you've been to Africa before. Do you have any plans to inspire any kids going? Of course, you don't think I'm going to inspire people, but with your work, do you intend to give back to or even show kids in Africa who are looking at this program right now thinking, I want to be like him when I grow up or anything like that? What would you do to inspire someone? And what would you tell them?
I would tell them they try their best in everything they do, give 110% effort. Yeah. And actually, my mom said when we all get grown up and stuff, she's going to go out there and she's going to open up a clinic. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
When I'm older, I might have to visit there.
You might have to visit again and take care of it. Mm-hmm. Now, your mom is a doctor.
Right.
Is there any kind of pressure for you to probably try and become a doctor instead of following your passion?
Not really. I actually really want to be a lawyer, and they're supporting that one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you still think you're going to be a lawyer?
I think so. My aunt's a lawyer, actually, and I was talking to her about it, and it sounds really interesting.
Okay. So are you taking any initiatives to learn about what it takes to be a lawyer and what you're going to have to go through?
Not really. had like a 2-hour conversation with my aunt one time.
Yeah. You are here in Seattle specifically for the youth leadership camp, right? What are expectations? What are you trying to learn from it? And then what are you going to take away from that leadership? And what do you plan to do with the information that you get from the leadership?
At the leadership camp, I'm really hoping to, like, for it to help me with my speech and being able to, like, lead my team whenever it like comes down to like close situations and like I don't freeze up and stuff like that. Yeah,
I think you're gonna be all right. One of the people that picks you up is Albert Mensah. Shout out to Albert Mensah. He's one of my good friends. He's a motivational speaker. I think you know by now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he can, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, just like we always say back home. What I can give you, or what Albert can give you, is a portion of what you need in your entire life.
Yes.
And then of course you need your family to be there for all the emotional support and everything else that you need, but you meeting the right people. We mentioned Albert Mensah, and you also have this platform to go to be at leadership conference, and then you have access to media, which is a good thing. So any questions for me? Any thoughts, any comments to your fans? And I know we're going to show them a reel of what you actually do on the field, but before we get to that, you know, anything you want to talk about?
I would actually like to thank my mom and my dad and my brother for getting me in this position, because without my brother, I don't think I'd be really where I am today.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. Anything for the kids? We are going to be watching, you know, and we're going to support you with everything we have. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon. And next time you come back to Seattle, we'll make sure you meet some of the players.
Thank you
very much. You're watching Channel ATV. This is Davis. Thank you, and have a great time.